Street here, and in today's video I'm talking about how to create your biggest breakthrough with impact and income for coaches or consultants at the 10k month mark. Now I guess in this video the biggest thing that I get asked quite a lot about when it comes to making breakthroughs in business as a coach, as a consultant, or just an online business owner really comes down to some key areas, and usually it involves what technology do I need, what strategy do I need, what skills do I need. And those are the common things that generally crop up from people who are looking to take their business to that next level, and they're looking for answers, they're looking for solutions. And I guess in this video I want to take it right back to the source, and it comes off the back of a number of, I guess, stories and discussions that I've had with clients. And in particular, I want to share these with you so that you get a real understanding of where does the real breakthrough come from. Because if you're currently at that 10k, per month mark, you're probably looking for things to go to that next level, 20, 30, perhaps up to 50 and 83,000, 333,000 a month mark, which is obviously the million mark. And in this video, I just want to keep things simple and take us right back to, well, what happens before we go to that next level with regards to what is it that we've got to consider? What should we really consider when it comes to, making more impact, creating more income without having to go deep on all of the kind of strategy things? And I guess this is where most people fall short, because they don't consider this part. And when you're stuck in business, this is the part that counts probably the most. So what I'm going to do is just share on screen with you my presentation, just so we can dig into, I guess, where I really want to go with this. So let me just click to get this next diagram up on screen. I guess, whilst I come off screen for a moment, this is probably one of the most commonly, I guess, shown images when it comes to personal development. And I've used it quite a lot, and I've used this particular image in the past. And for a lot of people, it's the basis of understanding what's going on with us as human beings. And when you look at it, at the end of the day, if you're a coach or consultant running your business, you're a human being, right? Unless you're some, I don't know, futuristic AI right now, and I'm speaking to you on Facebook, which is also known as Meta now, going into this Metaverse. But anyway, I digress, going off into tangents here. But the point I want to get to is the key thing with any breakthrough in your business is really about you, the business owner. And if there's one thing that I could tap into, when people usually ask on social media, if there's one thing, or if there are 3 words you could say to yourself, if you could go back 10 years or go back to your 18-year-old self, what would you say, or what advice would you give yourself, your younger self? And I guess the more I get older, the more I dive into what really makes me a success and what do I see, what makes my clients a success. It's really digging into the core and the essence of who we are. And if I go back to my time when I was around about 28, that's when I had my first business coach. So that was nearly 13 years ago, nearly 14 years. And the biggest breakthroughs came as a result of having a coach. Now I have a coach. I pretty much had a coach since 2008 now. I picked up my latest coach just over a month ago. And for me, it's important because if you think about it, in your business, you're the only person that you're actually responsible to. And I'm going to come back to this diagram in a moment. You're the only person that you're responsible to. And the easiest thing for ourselves is to let ourselves off the hook when we want to go to that next level, but we don't quite make it. And therefore we settle back into our comfort zone. But I just want to share a couple of stories, and then I'm going to dig deeper into why I'm using this diagram. So first story was, I brought on a new client in the past week, and within a week she closed a high ticket sale. And so she's approximately halfway to her 10k a month target. And we're only 10 days into November. So she's got another 20 days to go, and she'll definitely do that. She'll get herself to 10k a month. And the thing that was quite interesting is, what was obvious to me about the breakthrough that she made was that she simply moved into a space to allow herself to think bigger and to put herself mentally in the right, I guess, the right place, so to speak. And this just got me thinking, there's a lot of coaches out there who are at this 10K a month mark, and they're perhaps either hitting that mark, falling just slightly below, or getting a bit above it and then coming back down, but not consistently making. And I thought, well, what is the common thing that I see with people who are really doing it? And I believe it really comes down to this diagram that I've got on the right hand side here. I'm going to share one more story. So I've got another client, and in October they had a $21,000 month. Yeah, so they've done multiple 5 figures, right? But previous months before that, they had more of a difficult time, let's say, in attracting in sales and closing those sales. And what shifted? What was the big change? Was it because their marketing was generating more leads? No, it was a big shift in what they did about their consistency, their mindset, their approach, and also how they sold. Not meaning the technique or the strategy of selling, but who they believed themselves to be when they were actually going through the process of selling, which was more about self and awareness of who they were in that moment, rather than worrying about insecurities and fears. So now I can come back to this diagram. So what am I talking about here? Very simple, guys. If you want to make the kind of impact that you're looking for in your coaching business to go beyond 10K per month, so to go beyond 6 figures to multi-6 figures, you've really got to look at what's going on with you. And don't get me wrong, we can start with, oh, you need an amazing offer. You need to find, the right niche where there's a demand. You put the two together, you put a great offer in front of the right people, and they buy, and it works. Yes, in some instances. But what I come across quite often with all the coaches that I've coached and all the consultants and online business owners is that quite often they hold themselves back even when they know the right things to do. So I've got 3 key steps that I want to take you through in a moment, but I want to dig into this. So what have we got on screen? We've got the higher self. And so the higher self is love and joy. And for me, and for a lot of people that I work with, love and joy is the highest values that you can have, because love and joy really is passion for what we do, love for who we are, for how we exist, the people around us. Love and joy. Love and joy brings about some of the greatest things that we experience in life, right? And at this point with your higher self, what tends to happen is when we get caught up in, kind of lower level thinking, we kind of move down from higher self to more conscious mind, and we're going into a place of willpower. Do we have the willpower? Don't we? Decisions. Are we prepared to actually make decisions? Or are we going to fall into procrastination? Plans. Are we making plans, or are we just winging it? I remember I used to wing it quite a lot and think, life is just going to happen and I'm going to make it happen. But what a load of bullshit that was. And I figured that out soon when things came crashing down. You also move into behavior. Do you have good behavior, bad behavior, behavior that's, it's kind of laid back, it's neither here nor there? Are you analyzing what's going on? So you're reflecting on what you're doing. Do you have goals, actions, all that kind of stuff? So that's conscious mind, right? And to the degree that you're a success, that can give you an indication as to how well consciously you're doing. And again, this is a challenge for a lot of people. And then finally, what I want to do is just dig down where we get into emotions, values in the subconscious mind, personal beliefs, cultural beliefs, fears, imagination. Now, if you want to make the kind of impact and income that you're looking for, this is the part that most people don't get into. This is the part that most coaches and consultants don't really dive into. And if you're a life coach, if you're a transformation coach, you know all about this stuff, right? Or you've come across this stuff. But it took for me to get my first coach to even, become aware of this kind of stuff. And then finally, once you understand what's going on with the subconscious mind, and if you do have, strong personal beliefs, but perhaps they don't support you, but they've come from your childhood, but now as an adult or as a business owner even, those beliefs don't support where you want to go, but they're kind of tugging you back or pulling you back. And then finally, you've got the unconscious related to trauma, violence, shame and guilt being some of the lowest values and lowest experiences that you can go through as a human being. But I'm just going to bring it back to me for the second and just kind of talk you through what you had on the screen. You can see it just on the right of me at the moment. So if you're going to make the kind of impact that you're looking for in your coaching business and to go beyond this 10K per month, you've really got to be consciously aware of what's going on in your world and consciously aware in the decisions that you make and the actions that you take, which leads me on to the next things that I want to share with you. And I guess, if you're in a position where you do want to take things to that next level, I guess being, aware is probably something that perhaps you're not even clear on what is awareness, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit. And then hopefully from this, you'll see the 4 steps that I've got for you, because I'm going to talk about 3, and then I've got a final step for you to actually really lock into, so that you can use what I'm sharing with you today to make the impact and income that you're looking for in your business. First step is awareness. So, that's what we had on screen. How do you become aware? It's very simple, guys. There's 2 ways. It either comes internally or it comes externally. Yeah. And for me, if I go back to 2008, before I had a business coach, there were some things I just wasn't aware to. And when I had a business coach, it was almost like I'd opened up a whole new world of seeing things, awareness, right? And sometimes we get this divine kind of intervention, meaning like we get an epiphany, a light bulb moment, or for some reason the dots connect with different things that we're trying to do in terms of growing our business for more impact and income. Now, awareness, the challenge that you have with awareness is that you're up against your ego. And so at any time, your past behaviors and, the lower level thinking, things going on in your subconscious and unconscious, those types of things are actually the things that control your day-to-day. Yeah. And I can't remember the exact statistics, but I believe it's something like 90% of your subconscious and unconscious thoughts are what guide you day to day. Right. So if you think about it, the majority of what you do is driven unconsciously, and your awareness is what you perceive consciously. You may have more of a spiritual awareness if you want to go a bit deeper, but the part that I'm talking about is more conscious awareness, where you're either thinking about it or you're aware to it consciously, right? And in order to go to that next level, in order to break through to that next level, you've got to be aware of what are your current surroundings and what is going on with you with regards to what's holding you back. And as I said, sometimes it may come internally, or most of the time, what I've found, my experience, you might need an indicator externally, like a coach or a mentor. And here's a bit of a paradox. I often come across quite a lot with coaches and mentors who don't have a coach or a mentor, and they're stuck. And they're wondering, how do they make change? And I guess the paradox kind of tells us what the steps are. Perhaps you need help. You need a mentor or a coach, right? And that might be your first step in, getting this awareness re-triggered or even taken to that next level, where you can start to see, oh, actually, here's what I'm actually doing in my life, and here's why things are this way. You causing the effects, not just cause and effect, but you causing the effects in your life. So first step for me is about awareness. And like I said, it will either come internally or you're going to need some external help. And I think, quite often when we refuse help and when we say, I'm going to try this a little bit and see how I get on, that's cool, because it shows that obviously there's some type of awareness to you. There's some type of skill strategy that you've got in place. But you know what? When you bang your head against the wall for too long, and too long could be days, it could be weeks, it could be months, whatever that thing is. And whenever you decide that actually this has been too long, I've been trying to get beyond this 10K per month, create more impact, create more income, and it's just not working, or I'm going backwards, which I see as well from a lot of people. That's usually your indicator that you do need help. And quite often, I don't know about you guys, listening or watching to this, I've always found that when I needed help, it was always a stretch. When I needed my next coach, I needed to stretch up to that level. And I remember a couple of years ago, I took a real big stretch, because I was at the time doing multiple 6 figures and things were really heading in the right direction. And I made a stretch at the time to get my next mentor. And sometimes that's what it's about, even awareness to, what, I've got to make that stretch. Anyway, what's my next step? Next step is decisions. Once you've got awareness, you've got to make a decision or decisions. And quite often, you ever heard of somebody who's got procrastination or suffering from procrastination or suffering from not being able to make a decision or don't know what decision to make next? Yep, I've come across them too. Yeah, it's been me in the past, right? It's also been a lot of the people that I coach. Unfortunately, I'm able to give them help with regards to that. And it's also a lot of people just generally day to day as business owners. Making decisions is tough because it forces us to take action. Yeah. And if we don't take action, the very inaction is a decision that we choose. And so for me, in taking things to that next level and creating more income and impact, it truly is about you making a decision regardless of the outcome. And I find a lot of people, when they're procrastinating because they can't accept that they don't know what the end result's going to be. And I understand this, when it comes to I don't know if you guys have ever come across something called the Enneagram, where it's about personality types or traits. You know, I'm a number 5, a big thinker, right? But I'm aware to it, right? And I've done different things, workshops, activities, in order to help me understand when I need to be the thinker and when I don't need to be, and as best as possible to move out of that. But the point I'm getting to in making decisions, the whole point is that whatever the outcome is, just accept it. Because if you win, amazing, you made a great decision. If you fail, just know that you had something to learn because there was something you didn't know. And when we procrastinate, it's simply we're fearful of what the outcome be, whether it is good or whether it most likely, which is what we're banking on when we're fearing in procrastination, is bad. And I think the biggest thing you can do in order to create more impact and income is to not put yourself first, in the sense of what is your reason for doing this? If you can hold yourself to a higher level, like a vision, and you've got goals, then that's all the more reason why you do make decisions rather than not, which as I said, is a decision. You're choosing not to act. And quite often I see people in this place where they feel stuck, but actually they're the only ones who have created this stuckness because of their indecision. So guys, go out there and make decision. What's my third step for you to look at? It's very simple, guys. Once you've got awareness, once you've made a decision, you've got to take action. And I was listening to one of my audiobooks, Tony Robbins, I think it was, Awaken the Giant Within. That was it. I was listening to one of those. Old book, classic, personal development book. And one of the biggest things you can do in order to become a real winner, to make the breakthrough, to go from that 10K a month to 20 to 30, is to follow through on the actions, to go all in on the actions. And I'm not saying to the detriment of your life or your lifestyle. That comes back to awareness and the decisions you make and the decisions you choose. But once you've made your decisions, follow through with the actions. And I guess that's it. You know, whether it is, we're then getting into things like strategies, we're getting into tactics and the different things that you need to have in order for your business to go to that next level. You know, one of the things I've seen quite often is inaction. Yeah, I see people get caught up in, oh, I was stuck, I didn't know what to do. So they did nothing. They didn't ask for help. They didn't reach out to anybody for help. They stayed in this place of stuck, meaning that their decisions were made, but then they decided not to act. So therefore their awareness kind of dropped because they became, I guess, or they succumbed to the indecisiveness, and therefore the awareness, rather than thinking, you know what, I just need to move forward and just take the next action, they got lost. And this is why I showed you at the very beginning of today's video, you know, the iceberg diagram. Yeah. And the iceberg diagram, for me, it's one of the most powerful things when you start to look at yourself from an outer perspective, because you start to really look at, well, you know, what is it that I am doing? Because at the end of the day, you're in control of how you take things, or where you take things to, and what you do, right? And so for me, actions are the very things that quite often I see people just not following through on. So once you've made, you know, your decisions, you take the actions off the back of those decisions, and that's what will force you into habits that will serve you. And it's a way to really trick yourself into moving forward faster. If you make decisions around distractions, you know, because you have an awareness that, oh, actually I'm distracted, and now you made the decision, take the actions to remove those distractions or do the very things that you say you're going to do. And what it actually does is build up a better mindset, a more focused mindset. You also then start to build this inner, oh, actually, when I give my word, I stick to my word, because actually when I make decisions, I follow through on those decisions. And you can count on yourself even more, especially if you've been stuck in business, or you've had some challenges, or you kind of hit that ceiling of 10K a month, or you can't quite get beyond it or get too far, you know, beyond it to that next level. It's in these types of things where we look at us from a personal development, psychological point of view, that we make the true breakthroughs. Quite often we're looking for that kind of external technical strategy tactic. But honestly, you know, for all the years that I've been coaching and running a business, I can honestly say that once we get a handle on who we are, like truly who we are, from an unconscious, subconscious, and conscious perspective, we really do make the breakthroughs that we're looking for. So finally, my final step is, you got to piece it all together, guys. If you really want to make more impact, you want to make more income, it starts with awareness, decisions, action. And then the final piece is structure. So to give you a quick example, I run a coaching program called the Vortex Accelerator. That's a structure that I use for coaches who want to get to 10 to 15K a month, and then use that as a foundation to build off a multi 6 or 7 figure business. And why is this important? Very simple, guys. Once you've got awareness and you are making decisions and you are taking action, the challenge you're always going to be faced with is your ego. And the ego is the part of you that is connected to, you know, the programs and the things that you learned as a child. Yeah. It's going to be related to the different things that you experience as shame, guilt, trauma, the things that are hidden inside of you. And so when you have structure, that's the part that helps you to stay at the new level rather than go back to your old ways. And so for me, this is kind of like the part of what sets your foundation of success. And just to give you a quick example, when it comes to structures, it's almost like if you don't have it, then are you setting yourself up for failure? Actually, if you remove the structure, is that going to free you into being more of a success? What I've found is very simple. If you don't have structures in place, i.e., you know, business structures like marketing, sales, operations, accounts, finance, those types of things, imagine removing them. And then at the end of the year, looking back on your business, do you think there'd be a whole lot of things you'd have to fix? Yes, because you probably have to pay money to the tax office. And there are going to be different things that you needed to catch up on to do with legals, marketing, sales, all those different types of things. So if you created that type of business, your business would fail. And this is why, for me, it's important that you do build structure into the way that you run your business, operate your business, because that way you'll give yourself the opportunity to really go to that next level. Because what I've found in my experience in going from 10K a month to 20, 30, even 100K a month in sales, the biggest thing you can do is set up a structure that gives you a predictable outcome. And that's what most of us miss on our journey and on our rise to go into that next level. So hopefully, guys, this gives you some perspective. Like I said, the biggest thing for me with one of the structures I use, as I mentioned, my Vortex Accelerator program, is that the structure is what most people miss. They're out there trying to create impact and income, but they haven't got a solid structure to rely on. Yeah, maybe their awareness is there. Maybe this is you. You're making decisions, you're taking actions, but your wheels are spinning. You're going nowhere fast, and you want to change things. Then it's going to come down to the structures. What structure do you have in your business to help you when it comes to marketing and sales? And if you are lacking in those areas, that's where you're going to start to hurt, guys. And if you are experiencing it, then you probably know what I'm talking about. And guys, if this has made sense, then, you know, I'd love for you guys to make sure that you like and share this video. I'm just skipping through a few things that I had, but I just want to hand over to you on this particular slide and just mention, look, if you are looking for help and you'd like to take your business to 20K plus a month, you know, you're one of those coaches or online business owners where you're at 10K a month, either consistently or inconsistently, but you can't really move much further beyond that. Just comment below this video with the word ready below this video, and I will send you details on what you can do to go to that next level. So then, guys, finally, if you've enjoyed the content, please do remember to subscribe, go to my YouTube channel, and you can go to the YouTube channel by going to leonstreet.com/YouTube and hit the subscribe button. Do click on the notification bell to be notified of all my upcoming videos and live streams. And I just want to say, guys, please do share this. And if you are listening via the podcast, make sure you give us a 5-star review and share this out to your friends and peers. Until the next time I'm back, take care. Bye-bye.